My niece sent me a photo. The photo came through at 02:17. Her face filled the screen, eyes swollen from crying, a fresh welt beneath her left eye. But it was the black ink scrawled across her cheek that hollowed me out. My property. Shaky letters, still raw, not healed. Beneath the picture was a message: Mom's new boyfriend did this when I refused to call him Daddy. My stomach turned solid, a knock of ice and iron. I called her immediately. No answer. I called my sister, straight to voicemail. So I called him. His voice was smug, thick with alcohol. "What are you gonna do, soldier boy? I'll break your teeth if you dare to intervene in our family matter." I didn't argue, didn't shout. I only listened. Then I packed my rifle, booked the first flight home. Not rage, not panic, just silence. The kind of silence that comes before a storm no one walks away from. And in that silence, I knew one thing. He had made the worst mistake of his life. On the plane, I replayed her face in my mind. That broken look in her eyes. She wasn't just bruised, she was owned, or so he thought. And my sister? Her silence burned deeper than his threats. She had let him near her daughter, had let him mark her. Family betrayal tastes colder than any enemy's knife. I thought about the nights I held my niece as a baby, the way she used to run to me before anyone else. She called me her shield, and I had believed her safe, even after I left. Now her shield was gone, replaced by some parasite who carved his control into her skin. Why didn't my sister protect her? Love makes people blind, but this was more than blindness. This was willful surrender. And the man knew it. He had leverage, control, the kind men like him thrive on. I didn't rage. I studied him in silence, replaying every word he'd said to me. The arrogance, the confidence. He believed himself untouchable, shielded by her compliance. But arrogance leaves patterns, and patterns leave openings. I decided I'd exploit every single one. I didn't storm in when I landed. That's what he expected, a soldier back from deployment, fueled by rage. Instead, I waited, watched, collected. I parked across the street from their house, curtains half drawn, lights on in the living room. He sat in the armchair like a king, beer in hand, my sister curled near him like a shadow. My niece, nowhere in sight. I stayed in the dark, took notes, routine, habits, the way he left the house late at night, the calls he made outside, pacing, always looking over his shoulder. I hacked into his social feeds, found old posts under different names, a trail of women, a trail of bruises. Restraining orders never enforced. Different towns, same pattern. And then, the messages. Screenshots my niece sent me in whispers, threats, photos of her sleeping, promises of worse to come if she kept resisting. I compiled everything, each text, each bruise, each scar. Not for the police, they had let him slip too many times before. No, this was for her, for my sister, for my niece. They needed to see the truth in the cold light of day. No excuses, no denial. And when the truth is undeniable, it destroys faster than bullets. I walked into their kitchen on a Sunday morning. No warning, no raised voice, just a folder in my hand. My sister froze, coffee mug halfway to her lips. He looked at me with that same smug smirk. "You shouldn't be here." I didn't answer, just slid the folder across the table. She opened it. Pages of his words, his threats, his pictures. Court documents from 3 states, women's names, police reports, all buried, all ignored. Her face drained. The mug slipped from her fingers, shattered on the floor. He laughed, forced at first, then sharper. "None of that means anything. They can't prove." I cut him off with a single line. "They don't need to. She already has." My niece stepped into the kitchen, sleeve pulled back, revealing the ink carved into her skin. Her voice was quiet, but every syllable landed like a hammer. You can't hide anymore." His smirk cracked. That was the first time I saw fear bleed through his arrogance. I didn't touch him, didn't raise a fist. Instead, I placed my rifle case on the table, slowly, deliberately. He stared at it, swallowing hard, the smirk gone now, replaced by calculation, by panic. "I'm not here to kill you," I said softly. "That would be too kind." I opened the case, not to reveal the rifle, but the hard drive inside. Copies of everything, every photo, every threat, every crime. Do you know what happens when your name goes public? When every woman you've hurt sees your face again? When every cop you bribed gets exposed? When every court file you buried resurfaces in the hands of those who want justice? His face collapsed in silence. My sister stared at him, really stared. For the first time, she saw the monster she had chosen, and the weight of her choice crushed her. "I already sent copies," I said. "Everywhere that matters. You're finished." "Not by me, by the truth." His voice cracked. "You can't," but I could, and I had. I stood. My niece's eyes met mine. No tears, just quiet relief. He wasn't dead. He was worse. Exposed. Powerless. Hunted. And that was enough. I left the house without looking back. The sound of his shouting followed me, breaking against the walls like a drowning man's thrashing. My sister's sobs blurred with it, sharp and hollow. But I didn't slow. Some betrayals can't be forgiven. Some wounds don't heal. And family? Family can wound deeper than strangers ever could. I thought of my niece, her scarred skin, the ink he had branded her with. But ink fades. Scars fade. Truth doesn't. I had given her that. Not revenge, not blood, but freedom. And freedom is always bought with pain. As I stepped into the sunlight, the silence inside me shifted. Not rage anymore, not grief, just clarity. He was finished, she was safe, and I was done. The final thought slid through my mind like a blade. Some men don't need to be killed to be buried.